Upper ureteric pain usually radiates to the testes or labia majora because of the common innervation of T11 to T12. So radiation occurs like this to the testicle or labia majora. And while in lower ureteric colliculus, due to common innervation of L1, it radiates to the inner part of the thigh line. So you will firstly inquire about the age of the patient. Why age is important? Because Wilms tumor, they affect children of less than 4 years of age only. So you will see that Wilms tumor or nephroblastoma, they occur mainly in infancy or less than 4 years of age. So if a patient of 2 years of age comes with very huge abdominal lump, so you may think of a Wilms tumor. Renal cell carcinoma occurs in middle-aged individual of more than 40 years of age. And bilateral polycystic kidney disease should be thought if there is a bilateral abdominal lump. If there is a bilateral abdominal lump in an age group of more than 40 years of age. So you must think of bilateral polycystic kidney disease in that age group with bilateral kidney lump. Acute pyelonephritis is very common at the puberty, and it is also seen just after the marriage, which is known as honeymoon pyelitis, which is due to increased chances of UTI. So sometimes just after the marriage, there is honeymoon pyelitis or acute pyelonephritis or even a UTI, which is known as honeymoon cystitis. So what else you can see is sex of the patient. Like if patient is female, then due to short urethra, the organism they access, the bacteria they access the urinary tract very easy. So it is the acute pyelonephritis as well as the cystitis. Acute pyelonephritis as well as the cystitis or even a urinary tract infection is commoner in females as compared to males because of the short and straight urethra, which causes organism to have easy access. So, and renal cell carcinoma is more common in males as compared to females. And one should also take note of residence of the patient, where patient is residing, because vesical calculus is common in Rajasthan, while schistosomiasis is more common in Africa, Israel and Syria. Schistosomiasis causes bladder problem. It resides in the bladder and may cause chronic cystitis or even may predispose to bladder cancer. And you must inquire the occupation of the patient correctly, because sometimes in aniline dye workers, there is a increased chances of bladder cancer. So urinary bladder cancer will be higher if the patient is working in aniline dye factory. Now coming to what are the chief complaints. So it may be a pain in the flank or in suprapubic region, or patient may present with the swelling in the flank or lumbar region, or even a hematuria. That in carcinoma urinary bladder, there is a passage of fleshy mass along with urine. So that is a kind of gross hematuria. Sometimes there is a microscopic hematuria only, which is not visible to naked eye, and it will be estimated in microscopic test only. And there may be some patients, like patients with benign prostatic hyperplasia, they complain of increased frequency of urine, and there may be difficulty in urination. The frequency will be normal, but patient will have some kind of pain, some kind of difficulty while micturating. That is known as dysuria. And patient may complain of retention of urine, that urine is not getting voided. And other complaints may be like anuria, the urine is not coming at all, or even discharge from urethra in case of some STDs like gonococcal urethritis. Or there may be incontinence, that is spontaneous passage of urine. In urge incontinence, that patient will feel that if I am not able to pass urine suddenly, then I will pass here only. He or she has to rush to the washroom to pass the urine. That is known as urge incontinence. And then patient may present with the renal failure also. Features of renal failures like CKD features, like patient will present with the retention of the fluid. All of the body will be blotted. The creatinine will be raised. The urea will be raised. There will be uremia. And there will be associated hypertension. And sometimes in acute pyelonephritis, due to irritation of adjacent colon, there may be some gastrointestinal symptoms also. Renal pain is due to stretching of the capsule. Due to stretching of the capsule, this is felt as a dull aching and constant ache. And there is a particular angle which is known as renal angle. This angle is known as renal angle, which lies at outer border of the erector spinae muscle and the lower border of the 12th rib. outer border of the erector spinae muscle and lower border of the 12th rib. So this angle is known as renal angle, and patient will feel a dull aching and pain here, and sometimes the patient may come with hand keeping like this, thumb in front and all the four fingers back and pressing on that area. So it is basically caused by the distension of the renal capsule rather than any muscular contraction. So renal colicky is a misnomer because there is no muscular tube. While a ureteric colic will be a colic because there is a smooth muscle layer here. So now coming to ureteric pain is basically it will be colicky pain due to acute obstruction either by some stone or even some blood clots here. This is due to spasm of the renal pelvis or ureteric muscle, and it will follow renal angle and it will radiate along the course of the ureter to the groin. So this is known as loin to groin radiation. So sometimes the patient is severe enough that patient tosses over the bed during the attack. Whenever there will be muscular contraction, patient जो है चिल्ला के बेड पे जो है छटपटाने लगता है, जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना पेन से छटपटा गया, तो वैसे patient will have severe agonizing colicky pain and patient will keep on tossing to the bed, and this is characteristic of colicky pain. While in pain of perforation peritonitis, patient will prefer to lie still because of the on movement the pain will get aggravated. So it is usually accompanied by nausea and vomiting. So there is a variation in upper ureteric stone or upper ureteric pain versus lower ureteric pain. Upper ureteric pain usually radiates to the testes or labia majora because of the common innervation of T11 to T12. So radiation occurs like this to the testicle or labia majora. And while in lower ureteric colliculus, due to common innervation of L1, it radiates to the inner part of the thigh like. It will radiate to the inner part of the thigh like this. While pain due to vesical pathology, there may be mild discomfort to intense strangury. Sometimes there is a vesical calculus which is occluding the pathway. There may be strong strangury. Strangury is a particular term which means that patient has painful desire to micturate, and the pain starts at the bladder, radiates into the urethra like this, and even despite many attempts, the patient is neither able to pass the urine nor does it relieve the pain. So it is known as strangury. So counterpart in GI system is tenesmus, strong desire to defecate, but when patient goes for defecation, then only mucus comes, there is no fecal matter, and patient will not be relieved of pain and patient will have recurrent desire to defecate. So sometimes in over distended bladder, when there is the urine will be filled with bladder, and say there is some pathology like BPH which is obstructing completely, so patient will keep on asking you to relieve because of the agonizing pain. Infection of the urinary bladder wall, which is known as cystitis, and it is referred to the distal urethra during micturition. Sometimes even if you drink lesser water and there is some kind of bladder wall irritation, so you may feel that you are having pain at the tip of the distal urethra, which is not getting relieved until unless you drink a lot of water. The similar thing happens. The cystitis pains refer to the distal urethra during micturition. Now coming to prostatic pain occurring due to prostatic pathology. So in inflammation like acute prostatitis, there may be vague discomfort or fullness in the perineal or rectal region. So patient will have pain in the rectum because of the presence of prostate there, and patient may be confused it with some rectal pathology. उसको लगेगा कि उसके rectum में कुछ problem है rather than a problem in the prostate, and it may be associated with the difficulty in passing urine because there is a problem in prostate which is compressing this system, and patient will have difficulty in passing urine. So now coming to urethral pain, what will happen in urethral pathology? अगर urethra में कुछ pathology like stone या stricture, so what will happen? It usually occurs at the end of the micturition. यहाँ पे जितना urine है जब ये खाली हो जाएगा, then it will occur at the end of micturiation in urethral pathology pain, and it will be scalding in nature in acute urethritis or acute UTI. Scalding means burning sensation over the urethra during micturition. There may be swelling in the lumbar region. In infant of less than 4 years, the probability of Wilms tumor is high if such a large lump is there. And as in any swelling, you must inquire about the mode of onset, duration, progression, and whether it is unilateral or bilateral. Why unilateral, bilateral? Because some swellings like polycystic kidney disease, they will have bilateral swelling. They will have bilateral swelling because of the genetic affection. यहाँ पे भी swelling होगा, यहाँ पे भी swelling होगा. और unilateral swelling मतलब एक तरफ unilateral stone अगर हो गया, या even RCC या even nephroblastoma will have unilateral swelling. So अगर bilateral renal swelling मिल रहा है आपको in age of more than 40 years of age, you must think of polycystic kidney disease. So there is another entity which is known as Dietz crisis, in which intermittent hydronephrosis is there. Normally the PUJ allows urine properly, but like if the fluid overload is higher like after alcohol intake or some coffee intake, due to increased frequency of urination, there may be a partial kind of obstruction here and there will be abdominal lump. So once the coffee or the alcohol is withdrawn, then again the narrow PUJ offers urine passage. Then the lump will disappear. So this is known as Dietz crisis. You will find that patient is having intermittent lump. कभी lump है, कभी नहीं है, कभी lump है, कभी नहीं है. So intermittent lump also can be seen in chronic constipation. If there is a loaded colon and patient gets relieved, then lump will disappear. And then constipation reappears, then lump will reappear. So if there is a fecal matter lodging here, then it may cause intermittent swelling. So sometimes some examiner, they ask the clinical question, what are the differential diagnosis of intermittent swelling. So now coming to hematuria. Hematuria is basically passage of blood in the urinary tract. So you must inquire the quantity of the blood, how much the blood is, whether it is frank hematuria, whether it is gross or not, and what is the quantity like, and what is the relation to the micturition. कब आ रहा है, मतलब शुरुआत में आ रहा है यूरिन करने के, या लास्ट में आ रहा है, या हर टाइम रह रहा है. So if blood appears at the beginning of the micturition, then it means a urethral pathology. जैसे ही act of urination start होगा, वैसे ही blood आ जाएगा. So अगर start of the micturition में हो रहा है, तो it may be a urethral pathology. And if there will be hematuria towards the end of the micturition, then there may be a vesical pathology. And if it is mixed throughout, then it may be a pre-renal, renal, or even a vesical pathology. So you must inquire what is the relation of passage of blood with the time of micturition, and you should inquire whether it is associated with pain or not, because in acute glomerulonephritis and other kind of thing, it may be painful, while in malignancy like bladder cancer, it will be painless gross hematuria, while in stone disease, it may be painful. So sometimes the patient gets confused after eating beet or taking a laxative which contains phenolphthalein. They may have red urine and they confuse it with hematuria. And also after taking the rifampicin, the tubercular drug, it imparts somewhat orangish discoloration to the urine, and patient may get confused. So this is one of the thing to ask. If the patient is not educated enough and is not aware whether he is taking any TB medication, then you should ask that whether his after taking the medicine, his urine is getting orangish discoloration or not. So if it is, then the patient is taking rifampicin. Then you should inquire about the frequency of micturition, which will be seen in cystitis and BPH. So in BPH, you will see that the frequency first appears in the night time. So if you have to inquire about the frequency of micturition, then you should inquire how many times do you go during night time, because it is one of the first symptom to appear. And there is a scoring system which is known as IPSS, International Prostate Scoring System, which charts all the symptoms of BPH and how frequent they are, and it gives the severity of the BPH. So now coming to difficulty in urination, that is dysuria. So basically, what is prostatic obstruction? uh, so basically prostatic obstruction is any prostatic enlargement which dynamic or static which causes compression of the urinary outlet is known as prostatic obstruction, and it will cause delay in starting the act of micturition, which will be known as hesitancy, or there may be dribbling of urine rather than a proper stream of urination, and there may be straining. Sometimes patient try to strain and use his bladder muscle to force the urine out, but in BPH what happens is once the bladder pressure applies on the prostate, then it further narrows the lumen. It further narrows the lumen in BPH. So straining will retard the stream in enlarged prostate, while in some pathology like urethra, if there is a pressure from here, then it will improve the stream. So if straining improves the stream, then it is urethral stricture, while if it retards the stream, then it is enlarged prostate. Sometimes what happens is that the bladder calculus lies here and it suddenly comes to lie at the outlet of the urinary stream, and there is a sudden stopping of stream during micturition, which is characteristic of vesical calculus. And if the patient changes the posture, like if patient tilts or somewhat change the posture, then the stream may reappear. So it is one of the particular characteristic of vesical calculus. And there may be acute retention or chronic retention of urine. In acute retention, patient will have agonizing pain, and patient will literally beg you to relieve the obstruction at any cost. While in chronic retention, it becomes painless despite the retention going till the till the umbilicus. So patient will not feel pain at all. So if you palpate any hypogastric swelling in a non-pregnant patient, it should be considered as a full bladder until proven otherwise. Therefore, you should always palpate the pelvic lump after asking the patient to pass the urine. You should always ask the patient to pass urine before any abdominal examination, because it may give a false impression of some lump. Now coming to incontinence, what is incontinence? Incontinence is basically inability to hold the urine. Patient will not be able to hold the urine. In true incontinence, the patient passes urine without warning. Patient ko pata nahi chalega and urine will get passed. While in false incontinence, which is known as overflow incontinence, because of the overflow of the bladder, the urine will keep on dribbling. That is known as overflow incontinence. In spinal cord injury, there will be automatic bladder. Automatic bladder means there will be once there is a urine filling, there will be automatic contraction of the bladder muscle, and there will be voiding of urine. This is known as automatic bladder, which is usually seen in denervation injury like spinal cord injury. And there is an entity known as urgency incontinence. Patient feels urgency to the pass urine, and patient feels that if I do not go to the washroom immediately, then few drops of urine may come out here itself. So you must inquire this history properly with the patient. You have to ask these things properly in a case of incontinence, and you should elicit what type of incontinence it is. And there may be stress incontinence. What happens in that, when the abdominal wall musculature or the pelvis become weak like a multipara woman, then few drops of urine may come during physical strain like coughing.